Welcome, basketball fans, to 2K Sports. I'm Damon Bruce. It's a St. Patty's Day special. Time for the NBA and a little wearing green. It's going to be Michael Beasley and the Minnesota Timberwolves up against the New Orleans Hornets. See you soon.
We're wearing the green today on this special presentation of the NBA on St. Patrick's Day. This is Kevin Harlan with my partners Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. Doris Burke is on the sideline. We're at the New Orleans Arena where the Hornets will try to turn it up on their home floor. Let's take a look at our starters for Minnesota, all presented by State Farm. Beasley plays the three with Love and Darko rounding out the front court. Luke Ridnour and Wesley Johnson in the back. And for the Hornets, Ariza is the three with West and Okafor rounding out the front court. Chris Paul and Bellinelli in the backcourt.
Well, the Timberwolves looking to get a win here on the road, and last season that was a major issue for them. In fact, only one team, the Wizards, had a worse record on the road.
Tip-off goes to New Orleans. Now here's Paul. Ariza outside. And it's Johnson picking him up. Clock at 6. Here's Ariza. Ridnour with the rebound. Well, for those Timberwolves, Clark, how do you think they can turn around that road record?
Well, how much time do I have, Kevin? I mean, there are a lot of things that you need to look at trying to answer that. It starts with taking care of the ball. Timberwolves had the most turnovers of anybody in the league, and on the road, you got to really value it. I mean, that's one way you have a chance to win on the road is if you maximize possessions and don't turn it over.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Guys, I had a chance to catch up with the Minnesota Timberwolves head coach. The battle that he sees in this one is how his offense is going to be able to handle what he describes as one of the best defenses in the league. Coach told me, if we're going to consistently put up points on them, we have to know when we've created a mismatch and attack it immediately. We have to play smart out there. Efficiency is what he's looking for, guys.
Terrific, Doris. Thanks. They put a lot of thought into how they're going to match up against the opposing defense, guys.
Well, one of the things you got to do here, Kevin, and Steve, you can't afford empty possessions against this team. You got to put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, that's for sure, Clark. You got to make them count because you know you're not going to get a lot of open looks. So make sure you make the defense move the ball, try to get good looks, and make them pay.
Here's Paul. Michael Beasley picking up that last basket. The shake. And he races to the bucket for two.
See very few mistakes from him at that end of the floor. Man, what a tough break, guys, for David West. Last season was having such an outstanding year before tearing his ACL in March, late in the campaign. Very tough break for him.
There's another smooth finish there, Kevin. I mean, he operates at such a high level when he's in close to the basket.
Paul outside. Kicks to Ariza. The feed to Okafor. Working on Milicic from down low. Okafor gets the bucket. And that makes it a tie ball game. Back to that West injury. To lose what he brings to the table is a big blow to any team.
Yeah, without question. I mean, and the Hornets showed well in the playoffs, but you know they missed his scoring, his rebounding. And he's a veteran who's been in the playoffs, and he's a tough guy as well, Kevin. So those are attributes that you just can't replace.
Beyond the arc. They get the rebound. There's the block. Minnesota with the ball. Beasley outside. He's picked up by Ariza. It's a pick by Love. They double him with West. And Kevin Love, the bucket with the assist by Beasley. Love's got his second bucket of the game to go.
Even though they struggled to get large crowds in New Orleans to watch them play, the Hornets were pretty good at home, guys.
Here is Ridenour. 1:39 left to play here in the first. Now Johnson. Left side, Love. West is there. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Baseline J on the way. Love can't hit. And with the Hornets, Clark, that's a shame because they had a very good record at home. 28 wins and 13 losses in New Orleans.
Yeah, and as a player, I mean, you want to feel like you're being rewarded for your efforts. And for New Orleans, they played well. They had an excellent season. It'd be nice to see the fans come out a little bit stronger.
Now here's West. Michael Beasley missing his last shot. He passes to Bellinelli. And no good. Had a chance to take the lead. Minnesota in the lead.
Now, that was just a heave down court. I don't like their chances.
Here's Ariza. And the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a three-point play.
Got the shot to drop and has a chance for one more.
Boy, that was a tidy little play that time by him to get a chance at 3 points.
So for the Hornets, Green comes in for Marco Bellinelli. And Jarrett Jack has subbed in for Chris Paul. And Ariza no good on that one.
You know, the Hornets lost in the first round last season, but I liked what I saw from Trevor Ariza. I mean, he defended Kobe Bryant about as well as anybody could.
Now here's Johnson.
And they forced the miss with that good defensive rotation. They're playing well together as a unit.
Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Here is Rubio. This is to Randolph. West is there. Knocked loose. West with the steal.
Great steal in the paint. Thought he might get a layup out of it, and he wound up turning it over.
Well, with good defense down low, that's a shot he's not going to convert very often.
And so, lots of scoring in that competitive first quarter. Hornets on top. They're up by 3.
And that first quarter was all about pace, guys, because this club really got out into transition, and that's how they built this lead.
They like to play fast, and they're doing a nice job filling the lanes.
We'll be back momentarily.
Double team on happy passing, balling hard in our Chevrolets.
And welcome back as we continue our St. Patty's Day broadcast.
Kobe Bryant now back to back, shoot the 3 if I have to dash it. Dwight Howard when I'm at the basket, in the gym but not the basket.
Here is Rubio.
And Clark, getting back to Trevor Ariza for a minute in that Lakers series, number of big rebounds that he came up with. I mean, it's not the first time either that he's come up big in the playoffs. Remember, he was with the Lakers earlier in his career and had some big moments in the postseason then as well.
So with Paul on the bench, here's the group that Monty Williams has on the floor. We've got Willie Green. Carl Landry is out there with Trevor Ariza. Then it's Jarrett Jack, and it's Smith in at the 5. And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
Well, with a lot of superstar players joining forces, some have questioned whether Chris Paul will remain content in New Orleans, where he's had to carry the team. Potentially a free agent after this season, Paul has steered away from questions about his plans. Everything right now is about how we can get our team to win a championship. I can't distance myself from that, because I feel like if I take my mind to another place to be with another team, then I have a distance to myself. I can't do that, Chris said. I've never been that person. Guys, I'm sure the last thing the Hornets fans want to see is to distance himself in any sense of the word. Back to you.
And plenty of star players recently have moved on to try to win big.
Yeah, not only Paul, but rumors of the team actually moving to a new city. So a lot of turmoil here in New Orleans.
And first time out of the game called for New Orleans.
But a tough Western Conference that the Hornets were able to hold their own. And they were able to carve out a winning record against Western opponents.
Chris Paul is kept in for the Hornets. The Timberwolves also changing it up. Milicic comes in for Anthony Randolph. And it's Beasley in for Ricky Rubio. Here's Green. Guarded now by Michael Beasley. Moving it around. Here's Paul. He's guarded by Ridnour. The shot's good from Paul. You're right, Steve. Back to the Hornets. Clark, what a start it was for them with a brand-new coach last year, undefeated in the first 8 games.
How about 11-1 in the first 12? And they really were the big surprise early on. They eventually settled back down to earth, but that play in November was a big part of them getting back to the playoffs.
And taken away by Paul.
The reaction was so quick. Incredible defense.
Gets it to go. Now it's a 7-point Hornet lead. Ridnour kicks to Milicic. It's stolen by Smith.
I really don't like what I'm seeing their last couple of possessions, Kevin. That's 2 turnovers in a row. Careless turnovers at that.
Yeah, they're getting a little casual with the ball. They've got to nip that in the bud right now. Chris Paul still had a fantastic season a year ago, but the numbers slipped a little bit, and you have to wonder, with that knee injury, can he sustain his production over the coming years?
Six to shoot. Green. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. Talking about Paul's injuries, a lot of games missed now, and his career never a good sign.
No, it's a little bit of a cause for concern. I don't think it's a cause for panic, but it is something that you got to think about. I mean, what's really important for him going forward is to be able to stay healthy, particularly during the season and then more importantly in the postseason.
Roy Clark, he throws his body all over the floor.
Yeah, he does, and hopefully with a little maturity, he can be a little more selective. You can't take away who he is by nature, a fierce competitor, an aggressive guy, but there is something to be said for tempering that in the right way.
And here's Beasley. Ariza covering. Beasley kicks to Love. And stolen by Ariza.
They find themselves in a pretty good size.
And Ariza slams it home. Check it out here again with the Spike Slam King.
This has been an offensive explosion, guys. They are on fire.
How about a volcanic eruption, a flash fire? And defensively, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. They just hope that they cool off at some point.
Now, here's Ridnour. Beasley outside. Ariza covering. Shot clock at 6. It's a look, and there are the Timberwolves with another bucket.
Good things happen when he's working like that, fellas.
The Hornets leading by 9.
Well, the Timberwolves are hoping that they've found some answers at the point guard position. The veteran Luke Ridnour really played a steady role for them a year ago, but Johnny Flynn, their top draft pick in 2009, missed almost 30 games and really struggled on the court.
Here's Beasley after David West's bucket. And again, Michael Beasley. Beasley's got 8 points. And here we go with Chris Paul. Now for the Timberwolves, the answer to their playmaking needs, a point guard. Steve and Clark may have arrived in the form of rookie Ricky Rubio, joining the team from Spain.
Well, it's got to be a relief, Kevin, for the Minnesota fans to see the former number 5 pick in the 2009 draft finally in uniform for the Timberwolves. Scoring is still a question mark for him, but his passing, court vision, and flair, all of that is unquestioned.
Here's Beasley after David West's bucket over Ariza. And again, it's Minnesota converting.
He was really a non-factor in that first quarter, but he's found a way to step it up here.
Paul dishes to Ariza. Guarded now by Michael Beasley. Ariza no luck.
Still trying to get into the swing of things here offensively. It just has not happened for him here.
Love the pass to Ridnour. Back to Love. From past the arc. And again, Minnesota with the triple.
I think their only hope now, Clark, is to slow him down with a double team.
Well, they got to stop the bleeding, put the tourniquet on, and he's been tough to play straight up.
The clock runs out, and we're heading to halftime. 26. Hornets lead by 6.
Happy St. Patty's Day, and thanks so much for joining us for this edition of HP at the Half. A strong first half for the Hornets. They've limited the second chance buckets. They've been crashing the defensive glass, playing big on the defensive end. They've got some great minutes out of David West. He's picked up half a dozen points, very few misses, a real nice shooting percentage from the floor. And slugging it out so far, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Teams on fire, torching the rims. Just take a look at that field goal percentage. Kevin Love certainly contributing with his play. He has 11 points and has been a huge helper on the boards as well. That'll do it for us here. We'll go back now to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke for the start of the third quarter.
Welcome back to New Orleans as we take a look at the beautiful New Orleans arena. Here is Ridnour. So on the floor for Minnesota. Beasley plays the three with Love and Darko rounding out the front court. Luke Ridnour, Wesley Johnson in the back.
Well, very successful second campaign in New Orleans for Emeka Okafor last year. He was pretty much averaging a double-double all season long, and his shooting percentage was high. He became a very effective player for Chris Paul and the Hornets.
And so here is Minnesota after the Hornets pick up three. Ridnour kicks to Johnson. Johnson right side. Passes it to Beasley. And stolen by Ariza. And let's now go to the sideline. We'll catch up here with Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, Kevin, after 2 years of playing overseas, the Minnesota Timberwolves finally get Ricky Rubio to come over from Spain. You'll remember this young man burst onto the scene in the Olympics when he was outstanding against the United States. The general manager, David Kahn, was very high on him after drafting him in 2009, saying of him, a virtuoso and somebody special. He has a lot of hype to live up to after 2 years of waiting, guys. We'll see if he can fulfill that potential. Back to you.
Thank you, Doris. So much has been said about Rubio. He's got to be feeling the pressure.
You know, it might take some time for him to adjust, but I remember seeing him play for Spain in 2008, and I think he can play at this level.
We just talked about Okafor's shooting percentage. It was a career high, Clark, 57%.
You know, Kevin, I think we've seen Emeka Okafor become just what we thought he would when he left UConn. A really solid, reliable, consistent player. A double-double guy. He's not going to take bad shots. He's got good hands. He can finish inside, and he gives you everything he has at both ends of the floor.
Love against West. Unloads. Here's Milicic. Good. The assist goes to Ridnour.
Points in the paint have been the main course, or main entree, if you will. They just keep pounding it inside.
Now they're seeing no resistance defensively in the paint area, so the defense has got to be tougher.
Now here's Paul. Six on the shot clock. He feeds it to West. The dish to Okafor. Tries again. Takes it up. And the layup falls. Okafor's got 6 points.
Another inside bucket. They've got a huge edge in points in the lane.
That's what every coach preaches, inside out, reversible clothing.
Here's Love. That's good. And it's Ridnour picking up the assist. 15 points for Love.
Boy, he set him up nicely with that pass.
Boy, I love the ball movement, guys. That's 3 of their last 5 shots coming off of assists.
Now here's Paul. 13 feet out. A rebound by the Timberwolves. Love's got 4 rebounds in this game.
Well, the Timberwolves were one of the worst teams in the NBA last year, and playing in that Western Conference is tough. They went just 7 and 45 against conference foes. It's a good thing he showed up today, because without him, this team would be in big trouble.
Paul with the ball. Left side, West. Latre. And it's Paul missing. Well, for a team like that, Steve, struggling like the Wolves did last season, the Western Conference, not exactly a forgiving place. Clark, that's just amazing, just 7 wins with 45 losses within their conference.
Yeah, and you've got to start looking at yourself as a player. I mean, you can't make excuses. Everybody on the team has to certainly try to get better. You do look at the talent level and see where you can improve that. Sometimes losing can create friction and finger pointing, but the only way to get better is to hold yourself accountable and take responsibility.
Okafor with the screen on Ridden. Paul kicks to Bellinelli. Tries to save it. Willie Green's checked in for the Hornets. Jack comes in for Chris Paul. Minnesota also making some changes. Anthony Randolph, he's checked in for Milicic. And Ricky Rubio subbed in for Luke Ridenour. Knocked away. It's stolen by Johnson.
They're doing a great job of not giving the ball away, and that's a big reason why they're winning.
Blocked. The Hornets leading by 13. West outside. Pass to Okafor. Working on Love. Goes up on the high post. Jack's shot is good. There's 18 seconds left in the third. Deflects the pass. Okafor with the steal.
Tough entry pass there. Too much traffic in the lane. Well, they really look to run immediately after that turnover.
Well, that's how you cash in. You don't want to waste any time after the turnover. Go at it right away.
Here's Johnson. No good on the buzzer beater. Well, through 3/4 of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. We're back here live to New Orleans after this. So as we get rolling here in the fourth, let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke, for the Sprite Spark Report. Doris?
Well, Kevin, our spark of this game, the stretch by the Hornets. Everything started falling for them in the second quarter, and that is when they took over this basketball game. They'll look to close things out here in the final quarter of play.
Great stuff as always, Doris. Thank you. Clark, that was the game's critical point.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I really think it was. I mean, it really tipped things in their favor. No doubt about it.
Now, that's going to happen to you when you keep piling up those points and you get on a run like that.
A moment now to reset the lineups. Brought to us by Gatorade. All fueled up here for the fourth quarter. So the Hornets 5 right now. They've got Jared Jack. West out there with Jason Smith. Then there's Willie Green. And it's Landry in at the free slot.
Just pouring it on and adding to this big lead.
Steve, they're playing outstanding basketball, and they've been doing it all game at both ends.
Ridenour dishes to Love. Got a piece of it. It's stolen by Green.
Just one turnover for him in the first half, guys, but now he's really having a hard time taking care of the ball.
Another fast break move. They're just outrunning their opponent here.
You know what, Steve? I think the defense has left themselves vulnerable, and they're learning the hard way that speed definitely kills.
No reason not to pull up for the three right there.
And it's Johnson picking him up. Now Jack. Back to Green. Over Johnson. And it's New Orleans scoring again.
Look at their scoring. Mid-range jumpers account for 6 of their last 10 points.
Well, defensively, they're doing a nice job of keeping them out of the paint, but you got to give them credit. They're knocking down shots.
What a marvelous job they've done of sharing the basketball. A ton of assists.
Well, they know where each other is all the time. They're moving the ball, just finding the open guy. Nobody seems to care who scores.
Here's Jack. Another one falls for New Orleans. Here's Ridenour. Got a piece of it. Now here's Beasley. Feeds it to Milicic. West on him. Milicic passes to Beasley. And another three for Minnesota.
He can be dangerous from outside. Sure, he didn't get one to go in the first, but we know he can get on a roll and knock him down.
And Jack kicks to Green. He's guarded by Johnson. The pass to West. Over Milicic. And the basket by West. And the Hornets lead by 19.
Yeah, they are just lighting him up from mid-range area.
You know, sometimes we forget about the value of the mid-range or in-between game. This team has made 8 of their last 10 with that shot, the in-between shot.
They rule this one goaltending. Help the shot.
And I like his aggressiveness going to the hoop using that height advantage.
A platoon swap here for New Orleans. Anthony Randolph, he's checked in for Minnesota. Ricky Rubio comes in for Michael Beasley. Here is Rubio. Back to Randolph. He dishes it to Milicic. Tipped. Johnson. 6 to shoot. Paul gets the reach-in call. That is his first foul of the game. A big group substitution here for New Orleans. Aaron Gray, he's checked in for Okafor. Landry comes in for Trevor Ariza. Willie Green's checked in for Marco Bellinelli. And Jared Jack has subbed in for Chris Paul. The Timberwolves also changing it up. Love comes in for Anthony Randolph. And it's Beasley in for Ricky Rubio. Minnesota calls timeout. Only 1 turnover up to this point. I mean, that's sensational.
It really is, Kevin. The one thing you do not want to do is create opportunities for your opponent, and they're not.
Here's Ridnour. Here's Love. Shakes off the strong D and gets to the bucket for 2. Love's got 19 points. Here's Jack. He's guarded by Ridnour. Here's Jack. He kicks to Green. Pocket 6. Open look. And it's New Orleans scoring again.
That's 10 straight points on mid-range jump shots.
You know, to paraphrase a Bible verse that says, love covers over a multitude of sins, good shooting does the same thing in basketball.
And the shot is good from Johnson.
And you can see the strategy has been to take the ball inside here.
That's where you get high percentage looks and draw fouls, Steve, and it's a good way to play.
Now here's Green. Goes straight up. Gets the bucket.
Yeah, this is a done deal here. They've pretty much finished this team off.
Yep, we can put this one in the books. Too much to overcome now.
And here's Love for 3. And the rebound goes to the Hornets.
A nice little rebounding advantage they're enjoying here.
Yeah, and that's the reason they've got this big lead. I mean, they're dominating the glass and really being tougher than their opponent.
Beasley with the steal. Lobs the alley-oop pass. Oh, man.
I tell you what, I bet that's the best assist we're going to see tonight.
Well, he laid it up there, Steve. A pass where only his teammate could get it.
Perfect timing. I mean, that's what you need to make that kind of a connection.
Here's Jack. There's 57 seconds left in the fourth. Ridnour. It's called for the reach. That's foul number 2 for him. A big group substitution here for New Orleans.
Checking in for your Hornets, Emeka Okafor, Trevor Ariza, Marco Bellinelli, Chris Paul.
There's 53 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Now, he can't get that one to go, but that's a shot he'll hit more often than not.
Chris Paul covering. Ridnour dishes to Beasley. Over Ariza. And it's Beasley that time in the assist from Luke Ridnour.
Got such a good feel for his shot today, in a really good groove.
Paul outside. And Bellinelli kicks to Ariza. And it's Johnson picking him up. Ariza no up. Wallace with it. Launches it. cannot hit. So we see the Hornets taking the win here. Some days, Clark, everything goes right for a team, and they just had one of those games.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, these guys played a great all-around basketball game here.
And that'll do it for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. And now we present the Jordan Player of the Game, David West.